Well, hello there, Retro PC Durham with another vid. We've got this ThinkPad A31p back up on the shelf, this 2003 era mobile workstation, Pentium 4 based machine. We tried this machine out with the original operating system that came with it. We've got these recovery CDs with Windows XP. We also tried Windows 7 on this machine, which worked, but not really all that well. And we knew that afterwards checking that Windows 10 will not run on this because this particular Pentium 4 processor does not have the NX-bit disable function available, which means that we can't run it. So the other operating system I wanted to try out on this, which was era specific, is Windows 2000 Professional. So I burned a copy of Windows 2000 Professional onto a CD, and we're going to give a try and see if we can get this thing loaded up. So hit the old power button, and then we're going to go hit the F12 to select a temporary boot device. Hopefully the CD-ROM drive will show up here. We've got number 3 here on the list to pick from, and hopefully we'll get the press any key to load. Oh, there you go. It auto started. So there we go. Windows 2000 setup is now going to be starting, and we're going to go through this process. It has been a day since I have installed Windows 2000 on any computer. I have to remember, like back in this time period, was really when I first started getting into having my own full-time computer. Before that, I really I kind of learned how to use computers. Had computer that my brother had and my mom had at the house when I was like a teenager. But this was living on my own, getting my first computer at home, at the apartment I was renting, and playing games on it. And Windows 2000 was the first real OS that I had and installed and learned how to use as a standard user. And I really liked Windows 2000. I enjoyed the way it ran and its control capability and its performance and its stability, especially compared to my previous experience had been with like Windows 95, 98, and Windows ME, that series of Windows. So having this system that was built on this, the NTFS, kind of built off the business version of Windows, to use it at home seemed like a really amazing thing. So we're going to see how this goes. I know it's going to run well, or it's going to run. It'll just be a matter of seeing how good this system can handle compared to how the Windows XP install was on this one. So again, because it came preloaded, with these install CDs for XP, it had all the drivers and everything, and it ran okay. I did find that this processor was a little bit, it could be a little bit janky. Like it sometimes it wouldn't hold stuff on very well. All right, let's get through here and set up Windows. We're going to press enter. We are going to read this whole agreement. Let's just assume I hit page down a bunch of times. Hit F8 to agree. We're going to go and use this unpartitioned space on the hard drive and install. It's going to ask me to format, and we're going to format the system. So this will take a minute or two, obviously, to get formatted. So we'll fast forward through this. right, formatting is complete. So now the next step on our installation will continue. And we'll now get the Windows set up, copying the installation files. Once this is complete, the actual installation process will begin. All right, so now that that's done, there will be a reboot and the installation process running off the drive will proceed. You won't need to hit any buttons or anything. Everything should boot off of the disk drive now. Oh, wow, it's been so long. There it is, Windows 2000 Professional, built on NT technology. Oh, like next generation Windows computing right on your desk. All right, so the installation program will now be initializing itself, and it's obviously going to be calling files off the drive as it, or the CD-ROM drive as it works. I think is there something that I need to do to, or does it keep going automated? We'll find out in a second, I guess. This is the first time I've seen these screens literally for almost 20 years. Yeah, so here we go into the setup wizard. So I guess there's going to be some initialization. Of basic drivers. I mean, I would assume that the keyboard and mouse have already been they've already been found since I was able to, click next. But maybe if there's, some existing graphics drivers and multimedia drivers that the Windows 2000 install already has integrated into it for common devices. I am highly expecting that there will be a large number of drivers required to get this thing operating properly. So I did go ahead and download off of the EOL ThinkPad driver website a bunch of the drivers that I thought might be required to get this up and running for Windows 2000. So I'll spend some time, once this is all set up and running, I'll go through the driver installs for this one, and we'll be able to show off how it's gonna all be working. So it should be pretty interesting. Okay, here we go. We get to make some changes here. I'm not going to bother with customizing here. We will just go ahead with a basic connection here. Now, product key. I need to put the product key on here. I know I wrote this down somewhere, didn't I? Okay, go. All right, let's try this one. Hey, it worked. All right, so we're gonna let this go through. We'll go ahead and change the time here to Eastern Standard Time. Okay, we have successfully completed the Windows 2000 setup. Oh my goodness! If there's a CD in your drive, remove it, then restart your computer. Click finish. Okay, so we will remove the CD that we used from the drive, and we will click finish. Here we go. The first full startup. Windows identification wizard. Who can log into this computer? Everybody? Everybody can. You can all log on. Go ahead. Here we are. Now, obviously, a couple of things I'm going to notice right off the bat. There is going to be some driver work required here. Obviously, the Windows drivers haven't been installed for the ATI graphics card that is installed in this laptop. But kind of cool to get to see this screen, right? This startup screen. Learn about this new version of Windows connecting to the internet. Pretty cool. So, oh, look at that. Set program access defaults. Windows Update fully integrated. Now, I know this started with Windows ME or Windows Me, but I didn't ever have Windows ME installed on any system that I had. I remember Windows Update being a big deal with Windows 2000 Professional, that it was fully integrated. And maybe it was just the fact that the version of Windows Update that was built into Windows Me didn't work, but the version that came with Windows 2000 kind of maybe did. So that's pretty cool. Let's take a quick look here in the control panel. I guess I'm going to have to close the getting started. We'll have it continue to show at startup for memory's sake. Look at that, click at the start, the little tooltips there letting you know how you can do stuff. I guess if this is maybe was the first Windows you'd ever used, they still had these tips on here, assuming that not everybody was coming from a previous version of Windows. Scrolling still works on this one, even with the mouse not installed. So let's take a look at, from a system perspective, we've got Windows 2000 Service Pack 4 is the version that's installed on here. We've got that mobile Pentium R, Pentium 4, 2 gigahertz processor, and 756 mega RAM. Let's take a look at the device manager and see what we actually have to clean up on here. So there is quite a bit. The network controller, our audio, our Wi-Fi, a couple PCI devices, which I'm going to assume is, I'm not sure what to assume. Our video device, USB apparently was recognized properly. That's good because that means we can actually plug this guy in to be able to install the drivers that I downloaded to use on this one. So yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff I'm going to have to work out. So I'm going to do that off time here to put everything on here and troubleshoot getting that all up and running, and then we will take another look at this once that's all been cleaned up and see what our experience is like. All right, so we had some time pass here where I had some other things I was working on, plus had a really busy week of work this week. So we got everything loaded up. Let's boot up here and see where we're at. So we can watch the boot on here with the Windows 2000 Professional Edition. Ooh. I had downloaded what I thought was all of the drivers, and apparently I guess I had missed a couple. So I had to go back onto that EOL website and download 2 or 3 more. One of the things I noticed in installing them is some of the drivers actually didn't actually work, or they weren't actually the correct driver for the system. So some of them worked fine. The graphics driver was the first one that I installed, and that worked out perfectly. The generic ATI driver that was included on the site here. But there are some other ones that didn't work out so well. So obviously you can see here from the perspective of the resolution is much higher, right? It's that 1600 by 1200 resolution on this screen, which is absolutely beautiful. But what I did find was there's a number of components. The wireless LAN, I actually had to install a different set of drivers to get that to work. And I don't know if the wireless LAN actually works because the adapter on here I think is like an AB only, so it can't even see my wireless connections. And I'm not sure if the LAN driver even worked correctly, because even when I plug in the network cable, it doesn't seem like, it says it's connected, but it's not going anywhere. So I'm not sure if that perhaps doesn't work at all either. Although that didn't seem to be a problem in terms of installing the drivers. But there's a couple other ones that didn't work. The audio controller didn't work. So apparently this system has an Intel chip, an Intel AC97 audio, where the drivers that I downloaded from the EO website is SoundMax. And I don't think that those are actually the same thing. I think SoundMax may have been from Realtek. So that didn't work. And then there's a random PCI device here, which could be like the generic ACPI like platform, like something with the chipset. I installed the Intel chipset drivers that were on the EO website, so I thought that would clear it up. So overall, it's kind of like, even though there's supposedly a full set of Windows 2000 drivers for this ThinkPad, they don't seem to work very well. So, I'm not entirely sure if that's just when Lenovo took this stuff over and they, had the old driver packs and stuff available on these ones, some of them maybe just didn't make it onto that EOL website. But I even went ahead and I have the Snappy driver installer on a USB key. So I put that on here and I tried to run it, and it actually doesn't work, which I kind of knew already that it wasn't. I'm pretty sure it has to start with Windows XP before it actually works. So it didn't really run on here and wasn't able to find the drivers necessary to get it to go. So unfortunately, that means we can't get the full experience here and try things out, which I kind of knew that I wasn't going to be able to get everything working. I knew we weren't going to be able to do something like get online and try out what the internet looks like running on Windows 2000. I even tried, when I had the network on here, I downloaded a version of Pale Moon on here, and it wouldn't bring up anything. I couldn't even get couldn't get any sites at all to work on it. So there's definitely some stuff not working on here. So unfortunately, not the best experience in terms of getting this up and running the way I was hoping it was going to run. So yeah, so that's the whole experience there. I'm going to go ahead and put the Windows XP image back on this thing and get it all cleaned up with Windows XP, so it's in its best usable condition, which I think the XP load was the best experience. And that's it for this box. So relatively enjoyable. I really do like these workstation class laptops. I think that the concept of a desktop replacement really appeals to me as a style of notebook. Just like, the really lightweight notebook, the Ultrabook style is, has a good place as well. But just the concept of saying like, I can do everything on this that I could do on a desktop, to a reasonable extent. And I guess at the time, this came pretty close to being able to provide that. Which is certainly, the way I experience right now with my main, every daily driver ThinkPad, which is a P71 workstation, which is very powerful on its own, but it does, it weighs a lot, but that's okay. You just gotta build those muscles so you can carry it around with you. That being said, we're all done here, so we're gonna wrap this guy up. Thanks very much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this, couple episodes here looking at the A31p with a couple different OS preloads. Stay tuned for more videos. I got lots more content coming up as I have time to be able to film and edit and get these loaded up on the channel here. I will be continuing to do so. So really appreciate your time and your comments and feedback down below. Hope you're all staying safe, keep healthy, and we'll catch you in the next one.